In 1995, Pizza Hut was an unstoppable force. More than 7,500 stores around the world. 25% of the U.S. pizza market. Global sales above $5.7 billion. Their red roofs were headlights on highways and suburbs. The name was equivalent to birthday with balloons, to youth teams celebrating victories, to red glasses of Pepsi, and that steaming pizza bread served in an iron pan. 30 years later, the landscape changed. His leadership was undone. The competition surpassed him, and the pizza throne changed hands. How did a brand that defined going out to dinner with the family end up losing its crown? This is the tragic story of the collapse of Pizza Hut, an empire that touched the sky, and then he fell because he did not adapt in time. Chapter 1. A $600 Dream. The story begins in Wichita, Kansas in 1958. Two college brothers, Dan and Frank Carney, hear an acquaintance say something that sounds like nonsense and opportunity. Pizza has a future in the United States. For many, it was an exotic craving of immigrants and soldiers who had been in Europe. For them, it was a spark. They had no experience. They had no capital. They had, however, the audacity of their 20s and a borrowed recipe on a napkin. They asked their mother for $600. They looked for second-hand equipment. They rented a small place with 25 seats, and they hung a sign with 8 letters, Pizza Hut. The name came out of necessity, because the sign could not go any further, and from charm, because the building looked like a cabin. On the first day, they gave away portions. It was not altruism, it was instinctive marketing. If people tried, maybe they would come back. Worked. Students, neighbors, and professors filled the premises. The rumors spread. They returned with friends. Pizza ceased to be a rarity and became a plan. In less than a year, several branches were operating in Wichita alone. In 1959, they formalized the franchise model. Clear manuals, standardized recipes, centralized purchasing, replicable visual identity, support for local operators. The deal was simple. The entrepreneur put the muscle. The brand provided formula, system, and reputation. By the mid-1960s, Pizza Hut crossed Kansas and continued to expand across the United States. By the end of the decade, the name was recognizable from coast to coast. The merit was not only the taste, it was standardization. Weights, times, ovens, cuts, presentation, the repeated experience, and the right price. Pizza Hut didn't invent pizza. He invented a way to sell it on a large scale. Chapter 2. The 3 waves that fueled its growth. The rise of Pizza Hut was mounted on 3 social waves that transformed the American table. First wave, eating out. In the 1960s, with more dual-income households and more active weekends, meals away from home skyrocketed. The pizza fit perfectly. It was shareable, flexible, and customizable. She had a European air that made her special, but she felt close. A family could have a good dinner without emptying their pockets. Second wave, the rise of the suburbs. Millions of families migrated to residential neighborhoods with schools, shopping centers, and baseball fields. A simple need was born, nearby places to eat. Pizza Hut placed red roofs on strategic corners, next to supermarkets, close to high-traffic avenues, minutes from home. Being part of the neighborhood meant being part of the routine. After the match, after the cinema, on Friday nights, third wave, cheap cheese. The dairy surplus in the United States put downward pressure on the price of cheese, one of the most expensive ingredients on a pizza. Suddenly, the abundance of cheese became profitable. That image of the elastic thread that stretches when a portion is separated is no longer luxury to become a visual hallmark of the brand. By 1971, Pizza Hut was already the largest pizza chain in the world by number of restaurants. The right product, at the right time, with the right system. Chapter 3. Pepsi and the Golden Age. In 1977 came the final push. PepsiCo bought Pizza Hut. He wanted a powerful portfolio alongside KFC and Taco Bell. I wanted to integrate beverages, food, shopping, and marketing into one orchestra. The effect was immediate. With capital and operational discipline, Pizza Hut sharpened its identity. Facades with red roofs visible from the road, Tiffany-style lamps that gave warmth to the tables, padded cabins that begged to sit as a family, salad bars where everyone put together their own dish, and those translucent red glasses that became part of the ritual. Going to Pizza Hut was more than just eating. It was an event. The brand became an expert in moments that become memories. Birthday with candles. Team dinners after the match. Sunday prizes if the grades went well. The promotions also told the story. The Book It school program rewarded millions of children for reading. A coupon for a book, a personal pizza out of habit. The chain was planted in homes and classrooms. The menu became spectacle and conversation. Pan pizza in the 80s, crispy on the outside, fluffy on the inside. La Priazzo, a tribute to deep pie. The Bigfoot in 1993, enormous, rectangular, designed for parties. And in 1995, the stuffed crust, a cheese-stuffed edge that changed the script and put the start at the end of the portion. The campaign was omnipresent. Eat it backwards. Memorable commercials. Famous spokespeople. People tried out of curiosity and came back for pleasure. Behind the curtain, the machinery ran fine-tuned. National advertising, strict manuals, disciplined supply chain, and a network of franchisees motivated by clear incentives. By 1995, Pizza Hut was operating in more than 80 countries. It totaled more than 7,500 stores, and it reported sales of more than $5.7 billion. He was the undisputed benchmark for pizza at a global level. He seemed unbeatable. Chapter 4. Domino's and the Silent Revolution. While Pizza Hut perfected the salon experience, Domino's would refine something else. Speed and convenience, small shops, no dining room, optimized kitchens, smart routes, and a simple promise: get there quickly. For years, the perceived quality of Domino's was inferior, but it resolved a different moment. Hunger at home, the night of study, the office late, Saturday's movie. The breaking point came with the 2010s. Patrick Doyle, the new CEO, did something unusual. He admitted that his pizza needed to improve. He reformulated recipe, dough, and sauce. In parallel, he turned Domino's into a technology company that sells pizza. Intuitive app, real-time tracking, one-touch ordering, integrations with voice assistants, demand and route algorithms, contactless delivery experiments, and an obsession with the last mile. Ordering pizza no longer required calls, paper menus, or printed coupons. 2 taps on the phone. And that's it. Pizza Hut also had technology, but not their culture. His DNA was still in the living room, on the tablecloth, at the table. Its app was slower. The experience varied depending on the franchisee. The coupons failed, and 2 clicks too many was enough to lose a sale. Consumption moved from the dining room to the sofa. In that territory, Domino's played at home. When the collective preference shifted from dining out to bringing dinner, the board was turned. Chapter 5. Disconnection with the new consumer. The signs were there, on mobile, long registers, coupons that did not apply, confusing menus, times not updated, on the premises, worn carpets, aged furniture, televisions anchored in another decade for the nostalgic, retro charm. For young people, the smell of the past. The franchise structure, the engine of growth, showed cracks, inconsistent standards, disputes between franchisees and corporate, sudden closures that left neighborhoods without their red roofs. The reviews repeated the same thing. Took. She arrived cold, it's not like before. Meanwhile, competition fragmented. Domino's, with logistics as an advantage. Papa John's, with perceived quality and better ingredients. Little Caesars, with immediate price and availability, and an army of local artisan pizzerias that seduced with sourdough, stone ovens, and neighborhood recipes. The middle ground, the traditional hall with no clear advantage, became the most difficult place to defend. In 2015, Domino's surpassed Pizza Hut in U.S. sales. Shortly afterwards, it would do so at a global level. The map had changed. The battle was no longer in the dining room, it was in the app. Chapter 6. COVID, the relentless accelerator. And then 2020 arrived. The salons closed. Mobility fell. Delivery went from being a channel to being the channel. Domino's, designed for that world, hired delivery drivers, scaled its contactless operation, maintained competitive lead times. Pizza Hut had to be reconfigured in a hurry. Partnerships with third-party apps, conversion of shops into ghost kitchens, temporary closures that became permanent in hundreds of cases. The hardest blow was the bankruptcy of its largest franchisee in the United States. More than 1,000 stores at stake, operational gaps, and media noise. The pandemic didn't invent Pizza Hut's problems. He enlightened them. If the one who mastered digital and logistics already won, confinement made that ability a requirement for survival. Domino's grew. Pizza Hut resisted as best it could. Customers who switched apps in 2020 didn't always come back in 2021. That was the relentless accelerator. Chapter 7. Attempts at reinvention and brandware. After the shock, Pizza Hut activated a reconstruction plan. First, the digital layer. Redesigned apps and websites, clear customization, persistent carts, coupons that do work, more reliable tracking, loyalty programs with direct rewards. Second, the format. Smaller stores focused on carryout and delivery. Hut lane pickup lanes, thermal gaskets with calibrated ventilation so that the dough does not sweat. Inviolable seals. Protocols for the pizza bread to preserve its texture. Third, the menu. Rescue of classics for a limited time. Local flavors in specific markets. Lines of value for inflationary environments. Investment also came in the invisible kitchen. Digital boards that prioritize orders. Algorithms that sequence furnaces. Dispatch stations with heat domes. Simple objective: that the pizza is ready just when the delivery person arrives. In the app, the promise of time is realistic. False expectations are avoided, and the payment is frictionless. The results were mixed. In India, family promotions and tailored flavors drove double-digit growth. In Indonesia and the Philippines, compact stores, youth marketing, and robust delivery recovered traffic. In Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, the special outing format continued to operate with bright premises and adapted menus. In the United States and the United Kingdom, competition in delivery was fierce. Inconsistency by operator continued to weigh. Reviews improved in areas with obsessive enforcement and punished in areas with old vices. The learning was clear. The plan works if the how is executed obsessively. The brand has enormous emotional capital, but he no longer lives only on memories. It needs impeccable current moments. Chapter 8. Where is Pizza Hut in 2025? The year 2025 finds the category more digital, more fragmented, and more demanding than ever. The app is the counter. The last mile is the living room. The purchase decision happens in less than a minute. If the app crashes, the customer leaves. Domino's consolidates its hegemony with more than 21,000 stores. Simple offers, high reminder campaigns, and an obsession to get there quickly. Papa John's is around 5,800 stores. It grows in Asia with perceived quality positioning and premium menus. Little Caesars has more than 5,500 locations. Clear promise, price, and immediate availability. Lean operating model. Aggregators concentrate demand, but their commissions put pressure on margins. Big brands strengthen their own loyalty programs to disintermediate and retain the customer within their ecosystem. And Pizza Hut? It maintains a huge international footprint. Lower than its historical peak, yes, but relevant. In Asia and the Middle East, it combines robust delivery with premises that still function as a social destination. Families choose the weekend pizza plan. Value combos. Clean and modern spaces. A brand that still means celebration. In Latin America, performance is mixed. There are markets with successful repositioning in price and localized menus. And there are cities where logistics costs and local competition slow down expansion. In the United States, the challenge is harder. Turnout lags behind Domino's. Competence defines choice on a case-by-case basis. Velocity, reliability, price. Stores that deliver on the promise of time and maintain consistency show recovery. Where experience depends on luck, the brand doesn't take off. Food inflation, higher minimum wages, and fuel change the economics of every store. The brands that sail best in 2025 simplify menus. They standardize processes, and they optimize routes. The last mile is math, the buyback is emotional. For Pizza Hut, the challenge is to turn their emotional memory into functional relevance. That the app is as reliable as the taste of pan pizza was in the 90s. That the filled edge once again signifies innovation and not just nostalgia. Let each operator run like clockwork. If ordering Pizza Hut becomes synonymous with easy, fast, and delicious in any city, its size is once again an advantage. If not, your scale becomes weight. Chapter 9. What killed or nearly killed Pizza Hut? There was not a single shot, there was erosion. Ignoring the digital revolution for too long, betting on large living rooms when the consumer migrated to the sofa, allowing franchise inconsistency to dilute the promise, reacting late when the rival was already running several laps ahead, trusting that nostalgia would be enough. Yesterday's strengths became insufficient in the face of a customer who measures the experience with 3 simple questions. How easy it was to ask. How quickly it arrived. It tastes good and tastes the same every time. If you fail in 2, there is no nostalgia that will save you. The lesson is clear. In commoditized categories, the experience is the product. And today, the experience happens on the screen and at the door. The return, if it comes, will depend less on a big announcement and more on daily discipline. Fierce standards. Obsession with the last mile. Decide again who you want to win the brand for. Price and speed. Or differentiation and quality. And execute that election seamlessly. Pizza Hut still has extraordinary assets. A globally recognizable brand. Products with effective memory. International reach. Investment capacity. Turning all that into an advantage requires precision and coherence. Thus ends the tragic story and warning of Pizza Hut. An empire that defined pizza for millions. But he lost his step when the market changed scenery, from the dining room to the application, from the tablecloth to the last mile, from the red roof to the promise fulfilled at the door. If you're passionate about these stories of business and epic falls, subscribe to Business Saga. Leave your comment and tell us which legendary brand should be next in this saga. See you in the next chapter.